That's for the gram. What's up, MFers? Welcome back to another episode of March 4th. We're finally back in the gym for a pull day, which means back, biceps, and rear delt focused. Just loosening up the shoulder joints and stretching the lats and lower back before we hit it. I woke up stiff, so just listening to my body. We're doing 5 basic movements today and showing a couple of equally simple variations of each. I've always found that simple is best, but you can make it as hard as you need to. Okay, jumping right in here with the first exercise being a seated cable row. Got dual handles for a nice ergonomic neutral grip. Pick a weight that's going to fatigue you around 20 reps for that first set. Lock your feet in, keep your core tight, then focus on controlled range of motion. With almost every exercise, the stretch is just as important as the contraction. And it's okay to allow your hips to hinge a little forward and back as long as you're not swinging the hell out of it using momentum. Okay, the pump cover is off, so it's time to get serious. Perhaps my favorite variation of a row with the bent over barbell here. I like to start the exercise from an upright stance, then slowly lower into a locked position to keep the lumbar as safe as possible, along with 3 mental cues: feet flat, butt out, head neutral. Look at how flat that back is. All set, every set. Keep your upper body as parallel to the ground as you can. And like all row exercises, think of the hands as just hooks that attach to the weight and really driving behind you from the elbows. Second exercise of the workout is lat pull downs. Still going with dual handle neutral grips here to allow me to stay as upright as possible, as a bar or attachment doesn't have to navigate around my head, or vice versa. I tend to get the most lat contraction doing it this way. Full stretch, full squeeze, every rep. Take the bend out of the elbow at the top and make the hands just clear the chin at the bottom. When the reps start looking this grindy, you know to call it. Pro tip, stay hydrated, hustle harder. Don't forget to have fun in there. Remind yourself what a privilege it is to be this physically capable. Another variation is simply body weight pull-ups or chin-ups, depending on hand position. If pulling your own weight for reps isn't realistic yet, most gyms now have an assisted pull-up machine where you can do the slingshot method with heavy stretch bands. Either way, full lockout at the bottom, and chin's gotta clear the bar at the top, or your drill instructor says it doesn't count, right? Third exercise is bicep curls. Now that the first 2 heavy compound movements are complete, where the arms were helping indirectly and definitely warming up, we can now blast them solo with some single joint action. First up is a rope hammer curl, again keeping wrists neutral. I like to lean back slightly and get the hands a bit more in front of the waist. This keeps the movement more strict and forces more stretch at the bottom. Next bicep variation is a straight barbell curl, now rotating the hands a full 90 degrees and focusing more peak contraction rather than the thickness like the hammer curl does. Shoulder width hand position on the bar is usually just right and puts less strain on the wrists. Your main focus with these should be just how agonizingly strict can you be. Not only with your range of motion, but also tempo and posture. Lower the weight slowly and fight the urge to just let it drop while keeping core tight and back straight. Grind it out. The third and final bicep curl variation today is just incorporating the arm blaster. Basically a simple contraption that takes any possible rotation away from the shoulder, turning this into a standing preacher curl. If performed correctly, you'll have to lighten the weight and humble yourself, but it will produce a wicked pump and just looks so freaking cool. Hence the clickbait thumbnail. Gotcha. The fourth exercise is a dumbbell pullover. Just focusing on how much stretch in those lats we can get now that they've been nice and contracted. Really pick a weight that is going to be comfortable for you. The shoulders are really vulnerable in this top stretched position, so make sure that you can change directions. That's the hardest part of it. I'm going to show a couple different variations of this now. Going to the cable pullover. Just using a straight bar here. Same idea, half circle type movement. Pulling those hands all the way down into the waist. Halfway through, really guiding from the elbows and just thinking of your hands as hooks that attach to the machine. Hey, leave a comment down below. Let me know some of your favorite back exercises, bicep exercises, pull day stuff, little variations to these. I learned just as much from you guys, so. Starting to feel a little cooked here. We're on the back 9 of this workout, and let's keep trucking. Another variation of the pullover is just using a rope. So different hand position, different width position, but always same idea. How much stretch in those lats can we get? And just retrace our steps, pulling all the way on down to the waist. Fifth and final exercise is just hitting these rear delts all by themselves. Not just shoulders, but only a third of the shoulder. That bump you see right there at the top. Main goal here is to not let the big strong back rob that tiny rear delt that of course we're trying to grow. Trying to get the back half of these delts so they're a little bit more three-dimensional. You can see them from all angles. Really trying to guide those dumbbells directly out to your sides. Don't let them drift back behind you. That's when the back wants to do the work. So one variation was head against the bench there for stability. Second one here, no stability other than my lower abdomen pressed right up against my upper thighs, and I just lock that position in. It's not a heavy exercise, you guys. Trying to stay as focused as possible, not use any momentum, not let the weight just drop right where it wants to, and thinking about that squeeze at the top. Checking time. We're making sure that we're just about an hour door to door. And third and final variation for rear delts is just on the dual cable machine here. Might help you to do this if having an upright posture, not just fighting gravity, is a little bit easier on you. Sometimes it helps to have somebody push into your rear delt You can really feel where you're wanting that to activate. If it feels soft in this back position, it means usually your big, strong back muscles are doing the work. You're just trying to think lever action in those shoulder joints. Again, not a heavy movement. You're just trying to be as strict as possible. Thinking how much stretch in those rear delts you can get when you come forward and how much squeeze when you come back. Try not to manipulate it. Don't throw the weight around. There we are, just under an hour. 5 good exercises, some of my favorites, a couple variations for you. Just hitting some shots here with the dramatic lighting. Why not? Stay tuned. Hey, also hit that bell icon so that you get notified when we drop the next video and you won't miss any. That's a wrap. Time for a post-workout meal. And coming up next, we'll be doing a leg day in the gym. So if you like this, do me a huge favor. Like, share, subscribe the video. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what else you'd like to see. And hey, we want to thank our sponsor, Citadel Nutrition. Don't forget to go on over to their website. Let them know Ace sent you. And remember, because we can never go back and we refuse to get stuck here.